Hello YouTube, hello my subscriber. I'm Kurinyanko, and for the people that who haven't seen me before or who doesn't know me, I'm just a player that who from London, mainly play fighting games. And then why do I make this video? It's because of there's this channel that come across to my recommendation a few weeks ago. And then that's something that really caught my eyes and I'm really looking forward to it. But then I'm surprised that actually no one talks about it after a few weeks. And even though actually this person who's been uploading this video talking about this project that he wants to do for about 4 months ago, it's actually quite shocked that no one talks about it. And the person that I'm talking about is Yoshiki Okamoto-san, and then he's actually one of the main member who developed Street Fighter 2. I'm almost gonna say SF2 short, but like yeah, it's Street Fighter 2. And then so what he wanted to do is to basically assemble all the original Street Fighter 2 member and who used to develop the game, and then get them to make a parody of Street Fighter 2. So this is the video that we're gonna talk about. That rarely known by the West, I guess. And then thankfully, I did ask him to give me a permission to be able to use some of the footage to edit this video. So, all right, here you go. And then so let's talk about it. So, and at the start of the video, 1 second. Wait. So from the start of the episode, you got these 3 members who used to work for Capcom. They all very famous, to be honest. Surely you might recognize them. You should recognize them, to be honest. So you got like Yoshiki Okamoto-san, and then Akira Nishitani-san. And then you got Noritaka Funamitsu-san. So they are used to, they are responsible to developing Street Fighter 2, as I mentioned before. And then, just like what I say before, they are planning to like try to get as much original development team to develop this parody game. But obviously, in the video, at that point, a few months ago, they wasn't sure that if they're allowed to actually make this game happen or not. But they will try to do it until the time that they are not allowed to do it. So they're gonna go for it anyway. They just want to see what they can make. Which, to be honest, I'm actually quite interested. At this point, the members that who joined this project is you got these 3 members that you can see at the moment, and then you got Yoko Shimomura as well, which she's the composer of like Street Fighter 2. So I'm actually really glad that like Yoko Shimomura-san, obviously, like as a fighting game player, you would definitely hear her work. Or if you're Kingdom Hearts fans as well, you would definitely hear her work. Or even that if you're Smash Ultimate fans as well, that you might hear some of the music that she arranged as well. So yeah, really happy that for Shimomura-san to be on board as well. And I'm actually quite looking forward to what kind of like background music that she can bring to the game, which is really helpful since a lot of the original Street Fighter 2 or even Street Fighter series like developer actually works for Funamitsu-san's company, like the main programmer of Street Fighter 2 and some of the main programmer for other Street Fighter games as well. and so as some of the character design that who's working for Funamitsu-san's company. And then, unfortunately, even though Okamoto-san's like want to have as many of the original member able to join the team, and unfortunately, there is one major member that who already declined the invite, even though they really want him to join, and he was one of the like main member of the time at the time as well, and also that he's like actually quite famous about that he was involved with like Street Fighter 2. But unfortunately, they can't get the character designer to join the team, so they're discussing about who should be responsible for the character design. So in their mind, they got Kinu Nishimura-san, and then another person in their mind is like Bengasu, who is which is this pen name and artist name, sorry, and then his name is Kurojima Naoto-san. They also mentioned it Shoei Okano-san, but due to that he's still working for Capcom, so it's very hard to invite him to come on board. Also Hitoshi Nishio-san, he's working for Iruka company, which Iruka means like dolphin, by the way. Also that he's the voice for the very famous Hadouken, or maybe I should say Hadouken. I guess you can't see my hand, but okay. Then they started talking about how they have to basically voice acting all the characters' special move at the time. And also like I didn't actually know this. So in the video they talk about like Hadouken, Shoryuken, Tatsumaki Senfuka. It's all done by 3 different persons. I didn't know that until that day. That was very interesting. So at the time, they were actually getting all the Capcom employees to basically record voice sample, and then adjusting the voice sample to put it into the character. And not really until Kami and Sakura, then they start to hire professional voice actor to play their voice, which Okamoto-san actually mentioned it, Miyamura Yuko-san, which also is Chun-Li's voice on like Alpha series and Zero series in Japan, who's also very famous of her role, which is in Evangelion, she's Asuka. And after that, they will start to talking about the direction of what is the direction of the parody game is going to be. So Okamoto-san was saying that like they are going to use like 3D models and play the animation frame by frame to make it more like a 2D game. And also they mentioned about like what sort of amount of pixel that they should use on the models as well. So they are thinking of for the first game, which is second, like I'll mention the name later on. But so start from number 2, and then they're gonna start with like very rough model, 3D model, like Virtual Fighter 1 character, but with some hair. And then so they are planning to make the game actually look quite unpolished at the first time, but still while they try to like keep the look a little bit unpolished, and then they still want to make the gameplay is like have a lot of depth, which is good to know. So also they're gonna like release it as a download digital title on Switch, and then they are planning to as the sequel goes, so they will update the game after 2, the original game. The second one is gonna be like Dash, and then you got Turbo, then you got Super, then you got Super Turbo, just like what we know, which is fine because it's parody. And also as the update goes on, they will gonna update the texture of the character model as well. Like maybe give them more skins to make them look better, give them more moves, and then like adjusting the balance as well, etc., etc. Which sounds promising. It's like they kind of planned it out for a long time as well. Although like Okamoto-san was wondering like how much parody that they're allowed to do, and also that he mentioned that like they are actually thinking of or he is actually thinking of to ask Mike Tyson to buy off his image copyright to able to use him to in the game. So the game at the moment in Okamoto-san's mind is gonna call Street Fight 2, and they actually need to get a permission of Bandai Namco, because Namco actually have the copyright of Street Fight, which is I think it's a Mega Drive game. I can't remember. I played it on Mega Drive. Is there an arcade one? I can't remember. So anyway, so Namco actually owns the copyright of that name. So they're gonna ask Namco first, and if they got the permission, and then they were able to call this game Street Fight 2, and then it's gonna be having 12 characters to start with, and then it's gonna have eight playable character at the beginning, and as the sequel goes on, so you can start to use all the character from the second game, which is Dash, and then we'll be upgrading after that as well, just like Street Fighter. Then they are talking about how much time that they should give on the development, how much budget that they should give as well, and then Okamoto-san and Funami-san is going to be responsible for the budget and resources as much as they can. And then as for Nishitani-san and Nishimura-san, is going to respond for the gameplay, also the in-game balance as well. After that, then Nishitani-san is mentioning something that's very important for the Western players. If Sejam or any fans that he's listening, roll back here, you got it. It's like Nishitani-san is talking about the netcode that like and telling Okamoto-san and Funami-san, basically in NA there's a phrase, no rollback, no buy. He clearly addressed that inside the video. So while he was explaining rollback to Okamoto-san and Funami-san, that they need to basically make it rollback. Otherwise, in NA, most people are not going to able to play. And for doing that, they need to keep the development in mind that makes the game able to suitable to run for rollback as well. So either using rollback or something that like quite similar to it, or maybe come up with like some revolutionary, sorry for my English, netcode to able to like make it work for everyone. That's what he's aiming to do. So, which is good for like the situation that we are in as well nowadays. Like most of us, we have to stay home. We can't go to offline events and stuff like that. So, which is something very, I should say, like exciting or comforting at the same time. So then, obviously, that leads to like how to develop the game with it. So like, which it will lead to how many input delay that they should put it inside the game, and then just for the netcode as well. So Nishitani-san was saying that maybe about 5 frame, which Okamoto-san is thinking of like there's about 7 frame that he's thinking of. Obviously, as a fighting game player, 5 frame it's definitely doable. 7 frames is kind of something that I try to avoid. But then again, if they are planning to make a game that is a kind of builds with it as well, maybe they could maybe able to make a game that which they were able to make a game that even though it's 7 frame input delay, that still works, and just to create a better online situation as well. So that's about it for episode 1.